Live to his early morning walk. Hopefully, if all is well, should be live. Fingers crossed.
I'm just checking right now. Okay, yours is good.
Lovely chublet.
And mine is good. Alright, all good.
Right, all good. Right, well, thank you very much, and welcome back to another episode of Project Assemble with myself, Dwayne the Captain Coffee, and Dwayne the Captain Coffee, and co-host Nate from Thwip Media. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad in that lot. Not too bad in that lot. It's a busy morning for me today, and that lot. So just nice chilled session now, talking stuff like that sort of thing, my friend.
Yeah, it's gonna be really
Yeah,
cool.
it is. Yes, I'm really looking forward to this one because I've wanted to talk about this one for ages now.
Yeah.
And then after watching your live stream and seeing you just announce it on your live stream, was
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. That lot. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to deep diving and getting your thoughts and opinions on it, my friend.
Yeah. This is like a group of characters that have always been interesting to me, so getting to finally get a tease at what the movie's going to be is a huge treat. So, yeah, like you said, I was streaming a couple weeks ago, and in the middle of it, it dropped, and I was like, "Wait, is this real?" And then me and my guest JCon21, we reacted to it live. So, yeah, you could check that out if you want. But yeah, it was
Definitely.
crazy. It was crazy when that happened. Like I couldn't believe something like that dropped in the middle of a live stream.
It's just your guys' reaction out there. It's just like I've just got an email. Just announced the cast. What's
Yeah.
going on here? And they're both of you sort of surprised that actually going through the cast was like,
Yeah.
oh bless them. I wish I was on that live stream with you because that'd have been absolutely fantastic out there.
Yeah.
Well,
All
so
right.
you got an icebreaker question?
I do. So this one
Ooh.
I thought of just before I kind of got myself set up today. So this, I don't know how long this is going to take, but what is your Mount Rushmore of MCU castings? You get four choices, like all-time
Ooh,
great castings.
damn. Ooh. Well, it's got to be Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Them
Hmm.
two straight away and that little sort of thing.
Yep.
Um, God damn, that's a toughie. That is. Because my first thought, I just put all the Bleeding Avengers on it, but there's down that many fantastic sort of casting. Oh, you saw that is a doozy and half. Right, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. Is it Anthony Hopkins? Odin?
Yeah.
Yep, him. Because I thought he played Odin Bleeding brilliant in that lot, and just how like awe empowering is like all around him. Brilliant acting that lot. Last one. I was going to say Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, but you can't do that yet. That's just cheating. That.
Well, you could. He's included in the MCU now.
Well, yeah, he's now. But no, I can't do that. That's cheating. That's bad. That for this. Um. Oh Jesus, wept. Right, it's a toss up, but I'm gonna I'm gonna have to say Tom Hiddleston Loki
For sure.
because
Yeah.
again, each one of them, I cannot see anybody else just portraying them. I
Yeah.
could see a female version for Loki, as obviously they did in the comics and that last. So I could see that,
Yeah.
but the rest of them, God only knows because that is wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be
Yeah.
the same for them.
Especially RDJ, like
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
was like, I didn't
go ahead.
realize that he had before his time as Iron Man and stuff like that, I didn't realize he had so much like trouble and drug abuse and
Oh, you didn't?
that sort of thing. No, I didn't
Okay.
even know, didn't even twig in that lot sort of thing. It's only until obviously it come out and then I really started deep diving into him. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's been a bit of a bad boy sort of thing.
Yeah, like Iron Man changed his life. Like
Mm,
that was the role that I guess I don't know. It brought him into a more positive phase of his life, and
yeah,
like it's been all good for him since then. Like
Oh yeah.
he's done well. Like he's
Oh yeah.
yeah. So my choices, obviously, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I have Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I did put Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool because
Now, did you?
you have to. And this one might be a bit random, but James Spader as Ultron.
Oh, okay. See, I was looking at Josh Brolin as well as Thanos. I
I
thought
thought of
he
that
actually
too,
played.
but I would have liked to see what the original actor would have done with it. The one at the end of
Yeah,
Avengers. I would have liked to see what
yeah.
he would have done. But yeah, Josh Brolin's iconic as Thanos. But for
Oh
me,
yeah,
James Spader is the voice for Ultron. He's got
yeah,
the perfect tone. He's got the right, I don't know, the kind of feeling you get from that voice. It just bleeds Ultron for me. So I thought that was perfect.
yeah. That's nice. That's a nice quadruple there. It's a really nice pick, and I like that. I mean, I used the cheeky one to put Deadpool in it as Ryan Reynolds. That like,
Yeah, I had to. Like he's an all-time greatest comic book casting. So you have to include him.
yeah, yeah. That is true. Yeah, that is true. I'll give that. So right, yes. Let's talk about the Fantastic Four then. That like, and that just iconic bleeding
Yeah.
poster drop. That
So
they just
that poster dropped
Go
on
on.
Valentine's Day. I don't know if this is a huge plot point or not. We'll get into the plot later, but it's them. You can kind of see it in the thumbnail behind my stream right now, or you can just look it up. It's everywhere. But
Yeah,
it's the group sitting around in a lounge. They got Herbie there. They got banners up, um, and then, you know, you get a first look at the team and their suits, and it looks pretty cool. So there's a lot to unpack. We're gonna talk about the casting. Um, we're gonna talk about what we think the movie could be about, potential villains, and what the future of the team could be. So a huge discussion is
yeah.
about to happen. So first of all, we've got officially Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. We've got Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. We've got Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss Backrack as Ben Grimm. So if you wanted to break down each casting, we can do that.
Yeah.
So first, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Now this was the one I was most cautious of. He's an amazing actor. It's just personally, I can't really see him as Reed, like explaining science stuff to other people. Like Reed is a super smart and self-confident guy who constantly talks about science. Like he doesn't care what anyone thinks what he says. Like he's just
Yeah.
gonna talk about science or anything like that. And I don't know. I just can't see Pedro Pascal doing that. I don't know. I don't know why. And he is almost 50 years old too. So it might be risky if they plan on using these characters for a long time. Like he will eventually age out of the character, and I just looked this up for comparison. Robert Downey Jr. was 54 in 2019 when he last played Iron Man after 11 years in the MCU. So when he started playing Iron Man, he was 43. And he grew into that character. So if these characters are supposed to be around for a long time, then there's gonna be some noticeable change over the years for him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Not lot.
But I have seen mock-ups of him in action in the new suits, and honestly, it does look promising. I'm hoping this is a great choice for Reed, and like he has to be the backbone for the future of the MCU. I think the retooling that they're doing now is focused on this team being the leading force of what's coming after they've readjusted. So I'm optimistic for seeing him, but he was the one I was most like, I don't know about this one.
Myself, I'm glad it's somebody big, like a big name behind it, sort of thing. And you look at some of the other stuff he's done. Is Mandalorian, The Last of Us,
Yeah.
the or even the what's it called one with Nicolas Cage, that film.
Unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah, so that one. He just plays so many different roles just so well, and I can understand what you mean with him how it's going to be for him to like speak science and be probably condescending to some people and stuff like that sort of thing when he's in proper full mode. That I'm not too sure how it was going to be. Like I would have took the same actor that played Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange.
That's the one I had always wanted to play him because he looks exactly the part. He's young enough to keep playing the character, but multiverse.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I can see why you're cautious, but with how good Pedro Pascal is, I do think he can knock it out of the park, sort of thing. The only thing that I was worried about, and it's similar to what you say with age and stuff like that, is the age gap between himself and Vanessa Kirby. There's like a 15, nearly 20 odd year age gap between them. So if they're going to use that as a love sort of thing, I think it's going to be a bit weird.
And we know they will too, so it's going to be something we're maybe just going to have to deal with.
Yeah,
so, yeah. That's a good point though.
Yeah, it's a bit. He's green where she's like, fine. I don't know. It's a bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, obviously they're gonna tap into that. That's like an iconic part of the team is that they've got that romance going on, and yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Like, yeah, like Reed's kind of like you can have him older because he's got like the white patch. He's got the kind of dark grayish hair at the top as he goes on, but yeah, we'll see what happens for that. So do you have any more thoughts on Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards?
No, I'm looking forward to seeing how he portrays it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he comes across using his powers and stuff like that as well.
True.
Sort of thing. That's what I'm really seeing how his mannerisms are as he's using the powers and stuff like that. Sort of thing. That I'm really interested to see. But other than that, I'm just hoping they set it off right, sort of thing.
Yeah, like this is one of the most important characters going forward, I think. Like in my mind, if I was forging the rest of the multiverse saga, Reed Richards is the guy for this saga. Like he's the one to carry it forward.
Yeah, definitely.
So next we've got Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Literally perfect, like perfect casting. She was always one of the ones I wanted to play the character. Obviously, Margot Robbie and Emily Blunt were favorites for others. I personally don't think Margot Robbie would have accepted the role. She's already been Harley Quinn. She's Barbie. She's done a bunch of other big things. I don't think she'd run to Marvel and, kind of give herself another blockbuster name.
For me, I think she's too much into DC as well, sort of thing. She's too integral to their stories and stuff like that, sort of thing. So I couldn't see like Warner Brothers and DC and a lot saying, "Oh yeah, go and do a Marvel film." Yeah.
Well, I've done it before.
So I can think there'd be.
There's been like smaller actors that have kind of jumped back and forth, but yeah.
But that's what I mean. Smaller actors, isn't it? It's not somebody as big and his eyes catching his hair, sort of thing. So.
And then I thought Emily Blunt would have been great as well. Like when John Krasinski was Reed Richards, and like everyone was wanting them two to be Reed and Sue. I thought that would have been really cool, but I think her stardom lies elsewhere right now. Like she's up for an Oscar in Oppenheimer. She's doing a lot of different kind of genre movies. So I think Vanessa looks exactly like Sue Storm, like the hair, her eyes, everything. Like if you think of Sue Storm in your head, you see her. She's an incredible actress. She kicked ass in the Mission Impossible series. She's really good in that.
I had to ask around because I'd obviously heard the name that lot, but I couldn't think what she'd been in that lot. And so I asked a couple of people, and they were saying Mission Impossible she was really good at. Hobbs and Shaw as well. She was really good in Hobbs and Shaw and everything.
Forgot about that actually.
So what I've heard, like I said again, I'm terrible with names, but what I've heard and like snippets I've seen that lot, it's like actually she could probably really pull this off really well, sort of thing, to be honest. And
like she's a badass.
Having that sort of exactly. She's not going to be like a damsel in distress sort of thing. Like Sue Storm's, she's not really been that in Sue Storm really. In that, like she hasn't got the most like strongest of powers that lot, but she can definitely manage herself, sort of thing. So I think she probably be able to portray it pretty
Yeah,
well, to be
and
honest.
because of like I've seen rumors that she's apparently the central figure in this movie. She's the one that brings at a certain point the
Oh,
team is kind of like, having that struggle, and she's the one that brings them together. Like, um, so I think that's
okay.
really cool too. Um, how she's the central figure that kind of pulls the team together, and then they can get the job done. So I'm very excited to
Mm,
see her as Sue Storm. Like again, she was perfectly
mm.
cast. You can see in interviews, like, because she was in Napoleon this past year, she was asked like, "What do you like? Would you want to play the Invisible Woman?" And she said, "Like, it's an honor. Like, I would love to play uh, Sue Storm."
Yeah,
And
because
obviously, she was hiding
is it
something.
the actor on Mantis? Was it the actor that plays Mantis that was with her?
Uh,
Because I've seen an interview where she's asked about
well,
playing Sue
maybe she
Storm,
would have been
and
asked when she
then
was promoting the latest Mission Impossible movie. Yeah, that would make sense because she was in that too.
it could have
But I
been
know
that
she was
one.
also asked when she was
Yeah, it could have
doing
been that.
Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm. I said there was. I can remember seeing an interview where she was asked about it, and I swear it's the woman
Yeah,
that
I
plays
think you're right.
Mantis, and she was both like, "Oh, you could play Marvel, you could be in Marvel with me and stuff like that sort of thing." And she was sort of like, "Oh yeah, yeah, maybe that sort of thing." I was like, "That's nice." That is. She knew for a
Yeah,
while,
I think
so
you're right.
keeping that under wraps is
And the
down.
one that's like we'll get to it with Eben Moss Backrack playing the Thing, but he apparently knew way back like in August. Like obviously the actors strike was happening and writers strike and all that, but he had got the role I think just before the worst of it kind of happened. So he
Oh
was lucky
right,
there. Yeah.
that's not
So
too bad
any
then.
thoughts on Vanessa Kirby?
And now I've just said them all. I say what I've seen, like little snippets and that lot. And I'm gonna obviously go back properly and watch like Hobbs and Shaw and the Final Destination. They're not Final Destination, Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
Sorry,
definitely
films,
check those two
and
out.
really, yeah, really see how she is in them. And but what I've heard from her and what I've seen and stuff does look pretty well in that lot. So I'm really looking forward to it. And then she like you said, just visually she hits the nail on the head with the
Yeah.
part sort of thing. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do the power of her as well in that. Like if it's going to be similar, sort of like shimmering as they did in the original Fantastic Four. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that. But again,
Yeah.
really looking forward to
I
it.
want to see
Really, really
her
looking forward to it.
doing like invisibility, energy fields, like like projection and stuff like that. Like she's a really powerful character. Then you have Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. Personally, I haven't seen him in anything, so I can't really judge his acting skills. He looks the part. I know his Stranger Things character has a huge following because he's apparently great in that. So I'm sure he can shine in this role. He has to nail the banter with the Thing. That's a thing you always have to do where
Oh
they're
yeah,
always like
massively.
back and forth, and he has to be somewhat annoying to read. Um, kind of like, hey, what are you doing here, science guy? Like, what do you got here? Like, is it okay if I play with this? And Reed has to say, Johnny, put it down, go away. Um, so I'm optimistic with him. I think he can pull it off. Like, I'm sure, like, and even you need the Sue and Johnny dynamic too.
Mm.
The brother and sister kind of back and forth. Like, they have the little fights, but they are also family. And I think he's going to do a good job in the end too. So, what are your thoughts on Joseph Quinn?
Well, like I said, similar to you, to be honest, I've not really watched him in anything now, so I can't really say acting wise if he's going to be really good or not. I'm not really got a clue. I've again asked around. Apparently, again in Stranger Things, he's got a really good showing and that sort of thing. So maybe it can transition across and stuff like that. But I'm not 100% sure. But it look again the looking of the role looks really spot on sort of thing, and like age wise as well, because I look at all the ages and stuff. He's a similar sort of age to Vanessa Kirby, so that brother sister dynamic should like, really work out well. But yeah, I've not really got much to say about him because I don't really know anything else he's been in or anything like that sort of thing, or seen anything in. But what I've asked around again, and apparently it's all right, and it seems okay. So fingers crossed. It's another one with Pedro Pascal. Hopefully, be able to knock it out. And like you said, if they can catch that banter
Yeah.
between him and the Thing, that'd be like, I've always got in my head how Chris Evans had the banter with the original Thing that lot.
Yeah.
That sort of banter just perfect that lot.
Yeah.
And that's what they need, someone like that sort of thing, just to pissing around, but then obviously the brother sister squabbles, and then going up to because I do think as well Pedro Pascal can have that sort of banter with them as well, sort of
Yeah.
thing. So if them two connect really well, I think that'd be really good. You see him like arguing with a bleeding puppet on the Mandalorian, that lot sort of thing, and saying not messing around, but doing that same sort of stuff in The Last of Us as well. So
Yeah, with Ellie,
he's
there's a lot
got
of
it.
that.
Yeah, exactly. He's got it. So hopefully, Joseph Quinn can have that relationship with him. So fingers crossed with that one.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify too, when we say they look the part, obviously like anyone can play the part, just they're like straight out of the comics. I just want to clarify that. Like not only white blonde hair, that's not the only person that can play this role. Same with Sue. So yeah, just want to clarify that.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, to be honest.
Like I thought Michael B. Jordan in, like, we don't talk about this movie, but Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch, like if he was given a good script, he would have been perfect as Johnny Storm.
Yeah, I think all that cast really is a younger version. All that cast, apart from the Thing, I think the Thing looked bleeding atrocious. But
really,
all that cast, yeah, I couldn't stand it.
That was the best look he's ever got in live action, like as the actual Thing.
That
was perfect.
Cannot stand it. I told you now.
Well, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect because this, like we'll get to it, is perfect. It's like right out of the comics, but it looked good for what they were doing.
I cannot do it. Sorry.
Okay. We'll move on then.
Like I said, I've always said to you, the best thing was the Thing in the two original Fantastic Four films. That was the best thing.
I just think he was so tiny. He's the exact same height as everyone else. He has to be the big, like, hulking creature.
No, perfect. That one was perfect.
All right. We'll move on with that then. All right. So next we got Eben Moss-Backrack as Ben Grimm. I've only seen him in the Punisher series. He was good in that. He's got the street accent for the role, like kind of like Brooklyn-esque. He's got kind of like a, like that kind of New Yorker accent that Ben Grimm needs, because that's just the way he talks. I haven't seen The Bear, but it's an award-winning show that he's got lots of praise for. Like apparently he's brilliant in it. So I think he'll do awesome. I'm hoping they stick with the look in the image that was released, because that's like, again, ripped right out of the comics. It's perfect. And I'm hoping he gets like the voice for it too. Like obviously it's going to be modified in post-production, but like something like deep and like intimidating, like it's clobbering time, like something like like something really, really powerful. So I can't wait to see him as the Thing. I think he's going to be great.
Similar to you now, I can only remember seeing him in The Punisher, and I thought he was really good in that, to be honest. So again, if they can like work that into a thing, and like I said, I'd love it to be just all prosthetics, but just have him like on stilts or something. I don't know. I can't work out how they're going to do it. Even if they did something like the Hulk and had similar to that sort of stature and that sort of CGI and stuff like that, but then still have the similar like orangey, not bright colours, but you know what I mean. It's like again from the picture we've seen, have it something like that.
Yeah.
Just a bit bigger sort of thing. I think it'll be fine, and I do think it'll really work. Like I said, I've not seen The Bear, and again, I've asked people around that I've watched The Bear and stuff like that, and it says that he's really good in that as well. And I'll also hopefully, if he's a really good actor in other things, and obviously we've seen him in The Punisher, he can again transition that across that lot. And again, I just think if it's more about the connections that the cast have amongst themselves. As long as they've got them connections amongst themselves, I think this film will be brilliant. I really do.
I think like these four actors, I think they could easily bounce off of each other in the way the team is supposed to. I think they can perfectly nail that. So yeah, like obviously it's going to be a while till we actually see footage of them together, but I think we've got a promising cast here. Like, I'm very excited for this. And we've also got Herbie. There's no voice attached yet, but I'm excited to see what they do with him. I'd be interested if they bring like a Bill Hader or Alan Tudyk or someone like that to voice the robot. I think that would be cool.
That was going to be one of my questions to you, myself. Do you think they'll have like a big name actor or something like that sort of thing, or do you think they'll have somebody maybe more of a voice actor for games or something like that sort of thing? Do they have that sort of dynamic?
I think they'll kind of go with a comedian. Honestly, I think they'll go with a Bill Hader or like Alan Tudyk. I said like he's done a lot of voice work. There was someone else. Oh, like obviously Patton Oswalt won't do it, but someone like Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
Like he's done a ton of voice work and a bunch of things. He's got an iconic voice, but something like that, like something, I don't know, like you would easily know who it is if you heard it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it in the long run he's gonna play a big role. I think it's just like we acknowledge Herbie exists. Like yes, this was a character. We're gonna include him in this movie. The look too for him, he looks perfect.
Yeah, he looks really good now, and I think he might be in more films. To be honest, I don't think this will be just a one and done sort of thing. I think it's going to be more similar sort of lines like Vision and stuff like that sort of thing. He won't have as big a role as Vision, obviously, but I do think he'll, like he was in Robert Downey Jr.'s head. He's always the voice of the robots and stuff like that. Sort of thing. I think that's the similar sort of role. He'd be there in the background, just milling around, doing bits and bobs.
Or he's the one that saves them. Like there's something where the team is trapped and he brings in something. I could see him being like a lovable character like R2-D2. He could be the R2-D2 of the team. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's all I've got on the casting. I'm very excited for this next part. So potential plot or villains. Obviously, we know this is set in the 60s. It looks to be an established team. I don't think we're going to see the origin in this. I think they've probably already been the team for 2 or 3 years. So, like, personally, I would love to see their origin adapted again, but I think this works in this one if they're already established.
Myself, I think you'll have maybe like a flashback, or they'll be talking amongst themselves about something, and then you'll see like snippets of how they got the powers and stuff like that sort of thing. Which will lead me on to something that I think you'll probably get on as well. But yeah, carry on.
So before I get into what I think the story would be, I'm also interested to see if Reed and Sue will already be married, or if that's something that they'll lean into, and if Franklin and Valeria will be in it as well. Personally, I'm hoping the two of them come in later so we get to see the team evolve up to the point of the children coming into it. But again, you said that age difference, like that's going to be a thing that I guess a lot of people are going to see, like if there are children, going to be like, that is not right. Like that should not be happening.
Myself, I don't think they're married yet. I don't think they'll be married in this. I think further down the line they'll have a wedding or something like that sort of thing. And I can't see the children coming into it until we properly get the X-Men and stuff like that sort of thing. Because obviously,
Franklin's
one of the powerful most.
He's like an Omega level mutant, something like that.
Yeah. So that's when I think you'll see the children eventually. I do think you will see the children, but it won't be anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, and if they are leaning into the 2015 Secret Wars, then they do play a part in that as well. So I think they will be coming soon. In this, I think it's best if they wait.
Yeah.
So, did you want to go first what you think the plot is, or do you want me to go first?
No, I'll let you go first now, because at the moment we're just like ticking each other's things off, to be honest.
All right, so personally, this is, I was going through my notes yesterday, I was like, this would be a damn good movie. Like, I would pay tons of money to see this. So, I think this will be like a very like turn of the century plot. It's in the 60s, so you've got the Cold War, you've got space travel, you've got like all of this huge change happening in the world. I think it'll be something like Reed is on the brink of discovering something scientifically or technologically advanced or revolutionary. Like, this is important. And the villains appear
Ooh.
and forces them to defend the city. The ones I'm most hoping for, and I think this is absolutely perfect, Galactus as the main villain, Silver Surfer as the main herald, Terrax the Tamer as another herald, Firelord as another herald, and Stardust as another herald.
Yes.
And this perfectly fits into the vintage vibe for these characters. If it is in the 60s, this is like a very classic Fantastic Four story, the coming of Galactus. So I think it works very well in building the cosmic relationships that these characters have. Obviously, they have ties to a bunch of different things, but they're most iconically connected to cosmic side of the MCU or Marvel Universe. So the team has to deal with these cosmic entities. The Silver Surfer sides with the team at some point because they find out he's only serving Galactus so his planet can live. He sacrificed himself so Zanawa could live on, but he had to serve Galactus. So he doesn't deep down want to lead Galactus to other planets so he can eradicate everything there. He doesn't like that. Like, deep down, he's a caring person. Like, he does care about life. He doesn't want to show Galactus, this is where they all are, you can kill them here. He doesn't want to do that. So he joins the Fantastic Four in the end to take down the villains, and you get like all the heralds around. In my mind, I was like, this is basically like in Guardians 1, Ronan is Galactus. You have Nebula and Gamora are the heralds. Gamora, I guess, could be Silver Surfer, and you like Nebula is like the herald. Like, you betrayed us. Like, Terrax and Stardust and Firelord, they would be kind of like that. So Silver Surfer would have to take on them as well. I think that would be awesome, personally.
Yeah, that sounds bloody good, that does, to be honest.
So the Fantastic Four and the Surfer defeat, or they just get rid of Galactus and the other heralds. Maybe they get stuck in time somewhere, like the negative zone or the quantum realm.
Oh, I didn't even think of the negative zone. Damn.
So, and maybe they're thrown into an alternate timeline. But this would be messy with the TVA's rules. Like, the team would be considered breaking the timeline unless their departure from the sacred timeline was their fate, unless they knew that was going to happen. But I personally hope this isn't what happens, because this would hurt their arcs and the connection with the audience. Like, they won't be involved with our core 616 timeline for very long, so like that would kind of ruin their characters. But if this follows the structure of, like, you know, it's just a normal day in New York, 1960s, and this giant man in a suit drops down, and he's like, he's got all the, like, 4 beings with him, and they're, like, causing destruction. They're, like, preparing the planet for Galactus's, like, I don't know, his stomach. I don't know, like, what they really do. But
it's quench, that lot.
Yeah, so I think this would be the perfect and a very well done Fantastic Four story. Like, it's very back to basics. It's a classic 60s comics vibe, just a classic superhero story. It's like ripped right out of the comics again. And I thought potential cameos, like de-aged Hank Pym, de-aged Howard Stark, de-aged Peggy Carter, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that either, to be honest. Damn.
So before I get into my next big thing, did you want to share what you think?
It's pretty much, apart from having all the heralds like that, I was thinking on a similar sort of line. You got to have Galactus as be the main big bad sort of thing with the Silver Surfer. You know, the MCU have used big characters like the Celestials. Yeah, that's the word. They've always used big characters like the Celestials, so they have done big, gigantic things up in the sky and stuff like that. And obviously, the one coming out of the sea that nobody talks about.
Yeah, anyway. Like even when Erisham splits the clouds open and takes Cersei away, like, no one talks about the giant head that was in the sky. Like,
exactly that lot. But that makes me think that some generations have maybe seen something like that in the
That is
past, sort
true.
of thing.
That is
That's
true.
that's why I'm thinking about Galactus now. Lot. But yeah, it's, other than having the other heralds, I'm spot on with you. I'm literally point for point, to be honest. But yeah, it's got to be Galactus and Silver Surfer in my eyes, anyway. It's got to be like that. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking that they either try and trap him or they all get trapped in the quantum realm. That's what my thinking is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like Reed, he develops something to stop them, but it pulls all of them into something, and then they pop out in the present day somewhere else. So I think
Because I
that's
was
what's going to happen.
what I was thinking is everybody was thinking, oh, it's Kang for the signal and Shang-Chi and stuff like that sort of thing.
Oh,
But is it? Is it?
well, that's another unanswered thing because it was specifically tied to the origins of the Ten Rings. So I don't think the Fantastic Four are tied to that, but maybe where they came from is a tie to where, like, maybe they came from the negative zone. Maybe.
So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I'm just trying to think how they could bring them to the future, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that was another one of them things that was like, it's a signal. It's a signal. What's making that signal? They're always saying about it's Kang. Kang. Is it them?
That's a good point. And that was something I thought the Marvels would deal with because you get the quantum bands that were like ancient artifacts. I thought they would have tied it into the Ten Rings that way, but they didn't. So maybe this is their chance to finally have a follow up to that post credit scene, and maybe give some unanswered Eternals questions too.
Yeah.
So the next thing, obviously, is Doctor Doom. Definitely tease him.
Massive. Got to.
He shouldn't be the first villain right away. Reference him, cameo, something small to show he exists. If this is an established team, maybe he hasn't turned into Doctor Doom yet, and we still get to see the progression of Victor, like, kind of building the persona of Doctor Doom later on. Or he's already Doctor Doom, just he's not a huge threat yet. Maybe he's already fought the team, and he's just kind of gone away to Latveria and hid there, kind of building something up. And if this is the way it happens, and maybe he does kind of follow the team around and try to get a look at Galactus and maybe something like that, and he does get thrown into the future with the team, then he gains access to modern technology, discovers the multiverse, vows to conquer it and rule everything, solidifying himself as a major MCU threat and the big bad going forward. Either way, he needs time to be built up. I don't think this is the movie where you make him the main villain and then he's just gone. That would be stupid of Marvel to do that. Like, they have to know this is an important character that everyone is looking forward to seeing. So I'm hoping they build him up, tease him, like, give a reason for him to be brought to the present day with the team. And yeah, I'm hoping this happens, like, in a very logical way. Like, I don't want them to say, yeah, he's there, and then he just appeared in the future. We need to see something, like whether it's Victor without the suit, just to know he exists. Maybe a mention to, like, the doctor in Latveria or something like that. Just something small.
I say myself, you've got, like I say, definitely agree with you. Doom's got to be in it some point. My idea is a post credit scene, something like that, of him in the future, sort of thing.
In the future already?
But no. Obviously, the end of the film. Obviously, for my idea, at the end of the film, they're all going to be in the future, and then he's going to be in the future with them in the post credit scene, sort of thing. But yeah, you've got to have. I wouldn't have him in the suit just yet. That'd be like the iconic thing at the end or start of another one, sort of thing. But I do think he's got to be in it somewhere. There's got to be some sort of reference, or you see him get his powers along with them, or something like that. There's got to be some sort of reference or Easter egg sort of hinting towards that lot. And my other question for you is there's obviously big talk about Henry Cavill now coming to Marvel. Do you think you've finally done it and cast him as
Kevin
Doctor Doom?
Feige
Do you think
watched
that's
my
him?
franchise. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Do you think that's what the role is? That's why he's come to Marvel,
I'm hoping.
or is it the other casting that I've seen people do him as, and he'll eventually come as Captain Britain?
That's an obvious one that people have always thrown out, like just because he is British, and that could work. I just don't know where that character would fit in to
Yeah.
the larger MCU. But yeah, I'm hoping that he's Doctor Doom. He would be perfect. And if anyone doesn't know, when we did our custom like Marvel franchises, I had him as Doctor Doom. There's even a picture I made of him
Yeah.
in the suit. So you can go
Go and
back and
check it
watch
out.
that.
Honestly, yeah, you
Um,
gotta check it out. It's perfect. Oh, it's
so
so good.
yeah, I'm hoping that he is Doom. The other one I saw is maybe he's the Beyonder,
No.
but that would be so small. Like
Yeah.
he
No.
needs to be the presence of Doctor Doom. He's got the
Yeah.
physicality, he's got the look. Like even if he's not in a suit, you just see like he's in like a business suit or something. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
looks like Victor Von Doom. Um so I'm hoping that again I'm praying that he is Doctor Doom, and then that would mean Kevin Feige watched my video.
Yeah. Yeah. I say as soon as I'd seen like reports of him coming to Marvel after leaving DC and stuff like that, I was like, no,
I did it.
surely it's gotta be fake. Surely it's gotta be fake. No way. And then I heard rumors about Doom or Captain Britain and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, the other one I saw
ah,
is if he's playing Eric Lenscher, Magneto.
that's a good role as well. To be honest,
I honestly,
I could see him fitting that.
he would be the presence of Magneto. I just think,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about Henry Cavill and Magneto. Like he needs to be, I don't know, a bit older, just
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Like we saw Michael Fassbender play the younger version of Magneto in the 80s, like 60s, 70s, 80s. So like, and I know in the modern comics he is a bit younger too. So maybe they do something like that. But another one I saw also was Cyclops. If this is an established Cyclops,
I don't know.
and I think that would be okay.
Yeah, I don't know with that one. I'm a bit torn between that one. I don't know. I don't know who you'd play as Cyclops. Again, I wouldn't have a clue, but I can see it. But
Like if I've seen mock-ups where he's got the visor, he's got the blue and yellow suit, and it looks good. I just don't know if, like, again, he's at the point in his career, like he's played Superman, and he's, I don't know, almost in his 40s. If he
yeah,
was playing Cyclops, it would have to be an established version of the team that's been around for quite some time.
yeah. It just wouldn't. With how everything is at the moment, it just wouldn't fit. It wouldn't. No, not
But
myself.
yeah, Doctor Doom all the way. Like,
Yeah, no, I'd
he has
say
to be Doom.
my two that I really would like to see him is Doom or Captain Britain. Either one of them I could take all day long. I think that'd be really good. But yeah, do as soon as the it comes, I was like, oh, he's done it again. He's done it again.
It's all there. I know. The last thing I wanted to touch on for this movie is the suits. Now the suits look very cool as well. It's very classic, like it's like very homemade, like I said before. Like it's like a turtleneck sweater. Like obviously Reed made these in the basement of the Baxter Building somewhere. Obviously the suits would evolve over time. Like they'd obviously get a more modern upgrade once they get into the present day. Maybe even at the end of this movie, which I'm hoping they don't do the typical Marvel thing where they get the actual suit at the very end, because they've done that for so many of the series and some of the movies as well. So, yeah, the suits look really cool to me.
Oh yeah, I just think they've just nailed him on the head. It looks so well. And there's a question I want to ask you now. Then, do you think that either in amongst this film or maybe in future ones that lot we'll see a proper built-up Baxter building?
This is something that I was gonna talk about in my next segment because I've got an interesting idea for this.
Oh, go on then. I've jumped the gun, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Just we're on the same brainwave there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, the next part, the future of the Fantastic Four. I think these are going to be the most important characters in the MCU going forward. Feige has to have realized in the retooling that these are like the first characters Marvel has had, and they are super important to the lore of many of the stories in the universe. They can lead to so many different things, like the cosmic beings, Negative Zone, the Inhumans too. So maybe they bring in the Inhumans at some point, and they just have so much potential. Like after the events of this movie, they're definitely showing up in the Phase 6 finale for Avengers 5 and Secret Wars. I'm hoping they get a sequel at some point too. Like I'm sure they'll be showing up in other projects leading up to the Avengers movies. And maybe they're bringing together the heroes, like they know something is happening.
So maybe, I didn't think of that.
And the bigger question is, when do they escape from wherever they're trapped? Like, how does it happen? I think they land in the present day. They have to find the Baxter building. They realize, wait, this building is completely different than when we last left it. Stark Tower.
Oh,
They
okay.
take this vacant building and turn it into the new Baxter building.
Damn.
Obviously, like at the end of Homecoming, it was bought by someone. We still have no idea who that is, and we haven't seen the tower since then.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I guess we got a glimpse of it in Spider-Man: Far From Home at the very end, but there's nothing happening in it. Like there's nothing on it. So I think if you make that tower the original Baxter building, and at some point between when they disappeared and when the Stark family kind of went into it and Tony bought it, maybe there's a connection there.
That's nice. My first thought, and I thought it for a while now, Kingpin. Kingpin's the one that's got it.
Yeah.
This is why I connected the lenses in Echo and that lot, that I think he's found something in Stark Tower and that lot after he's bought it and thought, oh, I can use these and adapt something like that sort of thing. But yeah, so my first thought was the Kingpin that lot, but now you say it, that'd be very nice. That'd be really, really nice. Now give him a sort of home base like the Avengers Tower was to work from, so that'd be really nice.
They've got the perfect landing platform that used to be for the Quinjets. They can now use for the Fantastic Car. They've got like all the technology in there probably still too. I know they were moving a lot of it out in Homecoming, but I'm sure a lot of it was still left behind. Like maybe they get an upgraded Herbie, an upgraded, like all their suits and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. How they just move into our MCU and fill in the space that Avengers Tower had.
Yeah, that'd be nice actually. Cause
like I can just see in my head, you see like a shot of the skyline with the Avengers Tower, and you see the Human Torch fly above and make the 4 in the sky.
That'd be really, really good. That'd be so nice.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I quite like that. That's nice. I didn't even think of that.
And the last thing I want to mention is maybe the TVA recruits Reed to help with the multiversal mission. Maybe he already knows of the multiverse, or he's just finding out for the first time, kind of like Deadpool. He's kind of like, wait, like this is a bigger picture. Like we're connected to so much more than we thought we were. So maybe he's a part of building the multiversal team at kind of like teaming up to take on Doom or whatever threat is going to be the end goal for Secret Wars.
Damn, I did think myself I could vision him having some sort of knowledge of the multiverse and stuff like that sort of thing, but I didn't really think of it with alongside the TVA sort of thing. So that's a really nice sort of connection you've got there, sort of thing. I do like when they're in the quantum realm. For me, when they're in the quantum realm, obviously they're coming back in present day. That's where I was like got in my head that he'll know about like different
Yeah.
realms and stuff like that sort of thing, and the multiverse and stuff. But it would make sense to have the TVA sort of not pluck him out, but just appear something. Maybe even the TVA could appear in it and just say, "Look, there's a bigger threat coming along," or something like that sort of thing. So I didn't even think of that. That's a really nice connection there. To be
Or you
honest, that's
get the thing where
nice.
Reed's looking
Didn't
at the
even,
screens like Deadpool was, and they say, "This is the big threat," and he sees Doctor Doom, and Reed's like, "Oh shit."
yeah, that'd be really nice because in my head they're gonna have that rivalry
Yeah.
anyway. And then you see something like that, and he's like, "Right, I know what I've got to do now." Sort of thing. I need backup. I know my team, like they've maybe handled him, not handled in the past, but they've had their differences in the past now, a lot.
Yeah.
But seeing him fully cloaked up and armored up, sort of thing, and it was like, right, okay, and you've got to go to the next level now to combat whatever is gonna come at us, sort of thing. But that'd be nice. That'd be
And
really
I
nice.
could
That lot.
see them doing something, whether it's in Avengers 5, and I'm sure they wouldn't do it in Secret Wars because the story would have already been built up, but to eliminate Kang as a threat, like obviously Loki ends with the TVA saying, "Yeah, we're still hunting down Kang variants out there."
Mm.
What if Doom in the future, he gains the technology to travel the multiverse? Maybe he already knew about it in the 60s, and that's the thing he was trying to tap. Like he was trying to nail the multiverse, trying to get to it, trying to reach it. And when he gets to the modern age, he realizes this is easy. I can do this now. He does it, and he lands in the Colosseum with all the Kang variants coming together, and he kills all of them.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. But
Because
with you saying that, do you think we will get the other Doctor Dooms from the Fox universe? And he's got his little
I don't think
Doom team.
I think because Doctor Doom is such a greedy and selfish person, he'd want all of it for himself. So even if there were variants of him, he'd kill all of them too, so he, like himself, could get all the power. But in my mind, I was like, what if Doom just landed in that Coliseum and just like put his green lightning
Actually,
everywhere and just like eradicated every single King variant appearing in that
but
Coliseum?
do you think they could do? He could do that. Have his two other ones come in with him from the Fox universe. Have them three kill them all, and then he just turns on them two and go, "Well, I've done you now, thank you." And then he's the most powerful one left.
That would be cool. I think Deadpool 3 might tap into that, honestly. I think they
Do
might
you think so?
they might bring in the like 2000s Doom in some way. I don't think they'll touch the Fant Four Stick one just because that one's so forgettable, and you know, I don't like I don't even consider him Doctor Doom. The name wasn't even Doom. There was so much controversy with the version of that character that I don't think they'll touch it. Um, but maybe they'll bring in.
It'd be a good way to wipe him off the map.
It would be, but then you also have to acknowledge the other Fantastic Four. If you bring in that Doom, they'll be like, okay, when are they bringing Miles Teller and Kate Mara and all of them back as the team? But yeah, that would be interesting to see Doom. Like, obviously, he'd do that. Like, in my head, back when Kang was still an idea and a thing in the MCU, if the two of them were working together, leading up to Secret Wars to get the multiversal power, then Doom would obviously kill Kang to get the power for himself, and then he becomes God Emperor Doom.
Mm.
So,
That I really hope that is like an end goal for him.
yeah,
Just have God Emperor Doom because
it has to be.
So yeah,
And maybe
so
the title's teasing it too, like it's the Avengers logo, but it's got the white lighting behind it for the white suit. I don't know. Maybe they've already teased
I
it.
didn't even think of that, to be honest. Oh, I didn't even think. That'd be
But
nice.
I think, like, obviously in the original Secret Wars, it's just normal Doctor Doom, like,
Hmm.
becoming a version of the Beyonder, basically. In the new
Yeah.
one, he is a literal god. He takes the broken fragments of these two realities that died from an incursion and molds them into his image of what his perfect world is, where he's in control of everything. I think they need to build it up to that point. You tease him in this,
Yeah.
he goes to the future, maybe wipes Kang off the board, does something.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think he's got to have that moment where it's like, right, just Kang's gone.
Yeah,
Obviously, we know about it, but if you're watching the films, you, to me, you'd still be like, well, if Kang's still there, you've got to eliminate him. It's got to be gone, sort of thing.
yeah,
So that'd be nice. Yeah. So there's some way Doom has got to just eliminate him
yeah.
all day long.
And if they don't do that, then it kind of turns into the like phase 4 effect where they introduce so much and they didn't answer most of it. Like the Celestials, the Shang-Chi thing, like even Black Knight, like
Yeah.
nothing's come out of that. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping they realize these characters and Doom are the central figures they need to use as the driving force going forward in the MCU, because they're so like tapped into the cosmic side of the universe and they have so much potential. They have to be the ones that drive the story forward, kind of bring the heroes together and say, this is the threat. We need to come together because we know this person and he has like unlimited power at some point. He like they know he will eventually meet that goal. He's
Yeah.
relentless. He will do whatever it takes to get that goal. So I'm very excited to see if this is what they do. I've seen people say, what if Galactus is the villain of Secret Wars?
Nah.
I personally don't think you can drag on that story for that long. You can't introduce him in Fantastic Four and just have him be the person trying to eat Earth or all the other planets in the multiverse. You can't make him that kind of being.
No. No.
The other one I've seen thrown around is Mephisto for some reason. I don't see
No.
him being a multiversal like
No.
threat either. So yeah, it has to be
No.
Doom.
Sorry, you froze on me a bit. Then I was like,
Oh, you're freezing on me too. So
yeah.
you're good now.
No, yeah. But yeah, no. It's got to be Doom. You can't have anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's got to be leading to the God Emperor Doom all day long. I'd like to see them other characters like Galactus, obviously in this, and Mephisto in maybe a Doctor Strange one or something like that.
I think he's supposed to be an Ironheart.
But oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and
Oh, I didn't
who
realize
knows
that.
when we'll ever get that, because that was supposed to come out last year, I think, and now it's on an
Yeah.
indefinite like release. Like they don't even know when it's coming out now. So yeah, see what happens.
I would
with
say
that.
it's supposed to originally be a series, then
Yeah.
it's a film.
Who knows what they're doing right now?
But yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. That's all my notes. You got anything else to add, my friend?
Not really. I think the future's very bright for this team. I'm hoping they handle it properly, because if this is the third time they fail these characters, then like I think people have lost hope in
Yeah.
Marvel's ability to like actually adapt these characters well.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But there's not been a team-wise that I've seen Marvel mess up, sort of thing, if you get me. So hopefully, well, especially how they've set things out as well, that lot, how they're just concentrating all on pretty
Yeah.
much Deadpool this year, and then going from that sort of thing. If they can just keep that intensity and just quality of work on the stuff they're doing, that lot, hopefully, I can't see them failing at all, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Cannot wait to see
Yeah.
it when it comes out. That lot, I will be hopefully just finding any way to bleeding see it, that lot sort of thing. And yeah, so it'll be all good game from the games, that lot. Yeah, I'll say we'll end it there. Thank you very much for joining us on another episode of Project Assemble with myself, Dwayne the Captain Coffee, and co-host Nate from Thwip Media. Keep an eye out on my channel for this Friday. That we'll have the conclusion of Guardians of the Galaxy game. It was a long ass episode as well, now, so I do apologise about that. But yeah, Nate, you see, you got was it a short coming out?
Yeah, I've got a short kind of. It's not like very detailed, but it's what I think the Fantastic Four movie should do with Doctor Doom. It's dropping at 10 a.m. Eastern time and I guess 3 p.m. Your time. So that's coming out in about an hour. And yeah, we've got a stream next week for talking Daredevil. Excited for that one. So make sure you come back next week for that.
Definitely. I see. The two streams coming up, Daredevil and obviously the Sony Marvel thing. Yeah, them two streams are going to be good. Going to be damn good. But yes, I'll end it there. Thank you very much for joining us on Project Assemble, and we'll see you all again on another episode. Goodbye.